Do it just like this or something for the thumbnail. Look, I got the gloves on. Point to your glasses or something. Okay.
Thumbnail. Now that we got the thumbnail, let's get into this video.
Safety, man.
Safety. Today we're talking about safety.
One of those topics that people kind of forget about or don't worry about. Don't feel like they don't need to worry about.
Yeah. Obviously, it's important. Safety first. It could stop a whole operation. You've been hurt on the job.
Yeah.
You got busted up on the job.
On a video.
I didn't record it. We were recording. I felt bad, son. I was like, fuck. Oh, I said, I can't. But now you would have been like, son, you better turn that camera on. You better get it rolling. It was like very early when you started with me. Yeah, stop, Buzz. You got a scar.
It was the BMW that I did it by myself. Couple clean shots in there. Yeah, I busted my face.
Yeah, you come from a corporate work environment. You pretty much know safety. Sal has
Jesus Christ.
You know what I mean? I'm sure, like between the military and the government jobs afterwards in warehousing, I'm sure that's all you guys talked about all the time.
That's all it was, man.
Yeah.
Talk about dog and pony show. Dog and pony show, you get down for safety.
Yeah. And I worked in a workman's comp clinic.
Lord. Oh, man.
For some time. And that, it's just, now you learn the company cultures and how they incentivize based off of safety because how much it costs the company. So if you're a small business, if you're not practicing safety, that could be something that could potentially put you out.
Right.
You know, whether it's liability, injury, there's a lot of things that safety can affect. So just make sure, guys, you're staying on top of all of your stuff when it comes to safety. We're one, for your health, and two, for liability purposes, you know, for the safety of your business. People have asked us before, you guys ever do a video on safety? Why don't you guys do videos on safety? It's like, well, there's some things that should just be common sense. Like there's no need to repeat certain things or to say certain things. But we kind of hit on things. If your operation is cleaned up, it usually does what? It alleviates a lot of the problems, right? Yeah. Like a lot of those things aren't there to begin with.
Right. But with safety, we don't talk about them as much because you should be doing them already.
Yeah.
But that's what we need to talk about because people aren't doing it.
Yeah. And there's things that we do. I could feel it. Well, I'm like, I probably shouldn't be doing this. You know, when you see people stand on stuff.
On that ladder, it says do not stand above this.
I saw a detailer inside the water polishing. He was inside the water with the corded polisher on a boat.
Wow, son.
Yeah. So
boy's getting that money. Lord.
I saw somebody doing an RV the other day. I was shocked. And I see the guy straddling the top of the ladder working on an RV. And I'm like, ooh, this should not be, that's not a good look. That's terribly dangerous. All I saw was an injury. You know, it's just, I was like, we gotta do better. What does that guy, the gym guy say? We gotta do better. So it's something we're seeing all over in the industry, and it's something that needs to be, I think it's time it needs to be talked about a little bit more. So
it's one of those things where you're not paying attention to it, not showing it any love until it happens to you. It's just like, dang.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of guys we see out there rolling with stuff. Let's see some examples.
Well, we got them on. Let's talk about the ones that we have.
Got gloves. We got some gloves here. You got to make sure that you get we try to use the thickest, highest quality nitrile gloves that we could find. The durability really makes a difference. Sal's wearing nitrile gloves. He's also has his face mask on, so we got a little bit of PPE. That's more of a moisture barrier. It's not really going to stop all the stuff coming
N95.
Yeah, it's just something to keep stuff out. You guys ever been down with the tornado or something hit your lip or something? You don't want to be put in that position. And of course, I got the eyeglasses on. We're almost all working with compressed air or some sort of power tool, something kicking up debris at us, spraying chemicals. I see some of you guys out there with no acid with no face coverings, with in the wind, with no gloves. We got to stop that, man. We got to stop that. You're hurting yourself. You're literally killing yourself. So So I got the eyeglasses and got the apron. People forget about the apron, man. This will keep you fresh. The chef's in the kitchen cooking up something nice
on the barbecue pit.
Yeah, you got to keep yourself safe. You don't want any backsplash of anything. We've all poured chemicals and spilled on ourselves. I had a whole table where I spilled some acid. Remember, it just deteriorated all the materials around it. It's crucial that you guys stay safe. What does our money man always say? Your family needs you. You'll be all right out there. You be safe out there. Your family needs you. So we feel the same way. Shout out to Junior and Osito.
Osito's Adventures. You guys are watching them. Tune in.
We're at an event at PNS, and Osito was talking about ULEX. And he goes, man, my brother, I don't mean to laugh. I'm not laughing. I'm only laughing because we did the same thing.
Happened to me.
He said me and my brother, we were working on the car. We hit that ULEX a little bit. You know, he goes, it was a brand new towel. So he said it was a Kirk Franklin. He goes, but I threw it in the back in the towel bag to wash with the rest. He goes, man, as I'm driving, he goes, within like 20 minutes, me and my brother are both in the front seat. Like, man, you feel a little lightheaded? They thought it was from the work day. It was a ULEX.
That ULEX stuff
you don't if you're on a mobile job using ULEX, don't bring it home. Don't bring it home. That thing got to get tossed or throw it in a bucket or something like saturated. You cannot leave that thing because that thing is off-gassing like crazy. Sal did it one time where he just felt nauseous the whole...
You got chemical burn, man.
Oh, no, you were doing it because you were doing the car. You were removing the scuffs.
Moving the scuffs, and I think...
And you were close to the...
And then I think we did the same thing. We kept the towel somewhere, and I was...
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, bro, I got...
And you were using way too much.
My lungs are burning, man. I got to go sit down. I got to go camp out.
Yeah, he was using too much. When I realized how much he was using, I was like, yo, bro, like literally, you just need to hit that corner and you're probably good for the whole car. But he was...
I was going to town.
Yeah. So my man, don't mess around.
Don't wear them ULEX towels, man.
Learn his lesson with the
It ain't worth it.
Yeah.
It happened a second time. I threw some money away.
Uh-huh.
We were closing up shop, and I had all kinds of things in my hand. I thought it was all trash, but I had my cash in there.
Uh-huh.
So I threw it away. I didn't know. I went to the store, and I was like, man, I probably threw it away in the trash. So I had to go do dumpster diving. Oh, and there was a ULEX towel in there. Oh, no. And when I went down there, I took a deep breath. Oh. And it was summertime, so it's just marinating in there. So I took a deep breath. And I went home, driving home. Oh, it was even worse than the first time.
Full of trash?
Yeah.
Head deep in the trash.
Getting that money. I threw a couple Benjis in there, man. It was worth it. I gotta go get those 2 Benjis in there. Anyway, throw them things, throw them away and don't go dumpster diving. What else we got on there, man?
Yeah, ULEX towels, the same with coating towels. Like, just let them shits go, man. I remember Pops trying to take one out the trash. He said, hey, I saw the trash. Quit.
Yeah, then he goes, that towel doesn't work.
Talking about he ain't cheap. But speaking of Pops, he got in my ass the other day over the video, bro. The one where I did the dog puke cleanup. I was just trying to show the stain removal. I wasn't trying to show like deodorizing. I'm just cleaning up, boom, boom. That one goes outside. Like it's the outside entry, whatever. So I'm not worried about like getting it clean. It's not going back in the house. Like it's clean enough for what I needed to. But Pops was like, the technique I did, because I'm not doing a technique to extract or pulling it.
Right.
He goes, all you did was rub that shit all over. All you did was spread it in.
Oh, he got it in that ass.
And I was just like, oh man. I was like, I did.
That's probably why we ain't got no views.
Why you do that? He goes, don't be doing videos like that anymore. I said, I was just trying to show how to get rid of the stain. So maybe I should have just
clarify.
But that video didn't do anything anyway. I'll put it right here if you guys want to check it out because that one needs some help. But anyway, so the ULEX towels, that's a no-no. Eyewear. Man, I had something. We've done quite a few disasters this year so far, and the times I've got hit in the eyes, and usually now I just wear my glasses. I try to wear my glasses every day, just for safety because I'm getting soap in my eyes, whatever. So it does 2 things. So I try to wear my glasses, but the times I didn't wear my glasses, I've had things hit me before near the eye. I'm like, oh shit. Maybe I should wear safety glasses. But if there's like a certain level of grime I see in the car, if I'm going to be using the drill brush to put those glasses on, it's not worth it.
That or that cup holder That
a couple will get you too.
Mm-hmm.
That'll get you. Yeah, if you're using compressed air or you're using a drill brush, I would definitely get glasses. Even the a lot of guys that tip of the steamer, the Chief steamer.
That's got me.
Oh, it's got me. Somebody, I think it was Aztec. Shout out to Roberto. I think he got his hand the other day, or his thigh.
I got my leg a few times.
It was nasty.
The blisters up.
Yeah, blisters. So I've got myself in the face before where I was trying to adjust my glasses and it hit me in the face. The more protection you have on, the better. I've seen guys use a whole screen, like they're going into surgery. Mm-hmm. Like, I got the whole thing. I'm not messing around. Any exposure will tear you up.
So for PPE, we got gloves, masks, glasses, aprons, maybe long sleeves. I like wearing long sleeves in the summer.
Oh, long sleeves for sure help. Like
the sun, and then I don't get that tan.
Yeah, even long socks. Anything that's going to decrease your exposure is always going to be better. Hoods are even good too, because sometimes I'll have a hood on and it's muffling the sound. That's another one, is guys don't wear, the ears. They're not protecting the ears.
With them loud ass generators.
Yeah, they got the loud generators. They got the gas powered.
No. Hella loud, huh?
Dang, sound like they're about to go to work on
shoot.
Yeah, so they just
hearing protection.
Fired up the motorcycle.
Hearing protection is a good one that a lot of people don't use. So that's why we have everything quiet. Or at least tried Ryobi's next, that Ryobi pressure washer. Got to get rid of that loud thing.
Yeah, I think it's loud. Kranza is just probably the way to go. We have, okay, so eyewear, so eyewear is one that should always be worn. Extension cords, man. Some of you guys' extension cords are just, they're looking tore up. They're looking like, why do people go so long without changing extension cords?
It's one of those things, man, because it works. It's still working.
Yeah, but when you can see the shit opened up.
I'm just telling you why, because it's still working.
People got
it's still working.
That's taped up in like 5 different places.
That's a big
thing. The end is like hanging down.
Let's talk about OSHA. That's the one. That's the easy one.
Any open part, right? It has to be replaced.
The frayed and daisy chain. You know what I mean? You get your 10-foot, go get the 15-foot, put them together. Yeah. No, that's a big no, daisy chain. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some of us are working with some intense tools. The Chief steamer, I have running to a 10 gauge.
Well, that's what it's recommended. I think it's recommended.
It's recommended a certain gauge for what it's pulling, and it helps with performance. You have less drop off. It may not be significant, but it's at least it's decreasing the wear and tear on both machines, on your generator or your, even in, I would rather use it sometimes off the generator than off of a house, because it pulls so much, certain tools. But yeah, so those extension cords, man, just get them replaced. You'll know when that shit's beat, when it's done. An extension cord shouldn't be looking the way some of these ones look out there.
See a bunch of electrical tape all the way
through. Just nasty. And be aware of the gauge that you're using too. Some of you guys are using like household type stuff for an industrial use. That's not going to do the job. That's a hazard in itself. So really, really be careful of that. And then also your placement and your cord management when it comes to this stuff. You guys can't be putting that stuff next to certain things.
Well, water. We deal with water all the time. What do you do with puddles?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see guys running. I was at, were you with me when we went to that taco truck? And it had rained. The whole parking lot was flooded. Yeah. And they had the lines underneath the water. I said, I don't think this is, it was just.
They ain't worried about that, son. They ain't worried about that one bit.
Safety. We're talking safety. Busted ladders. I'm guilty of this one.
Another one of those things, man. It still works.
Yeah.
The legs are all wobbly. You get up.
It's loose.
Yeah.
It just closes. It closes and opens when it wants to.
Yeah.
You first get those joints are little.
Yeah. There's no locking mechanism. You know what I mean? So you gotta kick it out to make sure it's fully extended.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a ladder. A good ladder is expensive. It's not cheap.
That's why they like to keep them.
The more expensive the ladder, the more durable it's gonna be. That's one thing I wouldn't cheap out on, is this equipment either. Like, don't go the cheap route with any of this stuff. Because you go the cheap route with this, you're going to basically
go cheap route one time. One time cheap.
Yeah, these are things that could prevent death. in some cases.
Life or limb.
Yeah. So don't go cheap, guys. Don't go cheap. So no more busted ladders. The dilution ratios these cats are using, man.
Talking about, man, it damaged.
Yeah.
It damaged. I don't know what I did wrong.
Yeah.
You did the pour. What do they call it? The detailer's pour?
The bartenders do it too.
Yeah.
The 1000.
That's because these guys be lying all the time. That's why these companies be lying. Say all you need is 1 to 10 or 1 to 5. Man, that shit don't. You don't even know
work. You
need full strength.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the dilution ratios, especially on some of that stuff that's just strong, man. That stuff that tear the McGuire's Professional stuff. That stuff is strong, and that stuff will tear your lungs up. All the Superior products, all that kind of tier of detailing products. All that stuff it's pretty rough on the lungs. It's pretty rough, and there's now becoming another tier where that's just above that, where they're making stuff a little bit more pleasant smelling, a little bit more user friendly, which I would rather go that tier than be on that tier where it's just like super, super harsh, because those dilution ratios and stuff, the effectiveness isn't there, and then you have to expose more to not only the vehicle but to yourself for it to actually start working. And for me, that's not worth it, because now you start stepping into that danger zone of risk that I like to stay away from. Dilution ratios for safety of the vehicle, safety of property too. Like if you got a dilution ratio that's off, and say you're on site somewhere and that hits something else, like some of these touchless pre-wash things, some of them are really strong acids and really strong industrial stuff. If you get it on some sort of property, sometimes it'll tear it up.
Well, something that we experienced, but I haven't heard anybody talk about, like these high acidic chemicals, high alkaline chemicals. They'll eat through some bottles. You got some cheap bottles that you put in, or just put
you got to make sure they're in the right bottles.
They gotta bottles are all categorized for certain chemicals.
For the strength and what it's going to be able to withstand. Mm-hmm. So some of them can't withstand solvent, some of them can't withstand certain pHs. So yeah, make sure that when you guys are doing your dilutions, or you guys are changing out your bottles and putting them in your ready to use containers, make sure those are the proper containers, because that's a big one. And usually if it's tearing through a bottle, it's usually pretty flammable or corrosive to begin with. So now you're getting that on other areas of your rig or your shop. I've had a couple things happen where we've had issues with that specific, and that's where I learned my lesson. I was like, you can mess up some property. For instance, the colorful soaps. Some of those were staining up some driveways, boy.
That was real hot on IG for a couple years, for like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Everyone trying to get fly with the soaps. And man, these things ain't worth. Everyone says these things ain't worth the shit. Get these things away from me.
It's a dye. So, it's a coloring agent, and it gets everywhere. So if somebody doesn't mind their grass being blue or pink or whatever for a little while, sometimes you got to wash it out. And it's known to dye onto certain, if you don't have a treated driveway, it's probably going to get up in there, especially if you have brick or something real nice. And I've done that before. I did it with a solvent before, where the runoff from the solvent, like the grease, it was so nasty, it stained as I was cleaning the wheels, and it stained the driveway, and I didn't rinse it off in time. And this was in the Oakland Hills, just ridiculously paved not paved, but brick laid driveway. And they were like, yeah, we're real proud of our driveway. And like, we saw these stains. Your boy was over there on his hands and knees with the drill. So
worked for free that day.
Yeah, I went and got the strongest, and this was early in my career. I went and got the strongest degreaser that I could find. I went to Home Depot, got that HDX. I think it's that brand, but it was the citrus cleaner, and I was just going to town. Zep. It was Zep.
That's when you had the old school cats watching. You should have just used gasoline.
Yeah, they were somebody. Yeah, somebody would have got me real nice on that one. I felt like an amateur on that. I was just like, I didn't have a pressure washer at the time because I was running out of the Baja. The cards were not in my favor. I was Googling, sweating. I thought I was gonna have to do an insurance claim. It wasn't a good feeling. So here's one I've seen guys mess with. To me, this one's really dangerous because you're messing with compressed air. See, it was you, huh? After high school, when you tried to take one of the lines off of your car, was it like the AC line you actually you hit and it popped off real quick underneath the car?
Nah, it wasn't me.
Was that you?
It was me.
Maybe it was Angelo. I don't know, but anyway, compressed air ain't no joke. You can create a projectile with, you puncture, if your air tank is full and something punctures it. We've seen Dustin's van blew up because of the air compressor. Remember, it kicked on? Mm-hmm. The air compressor kicked on and the gas discharge from the CO2 and the generator, they were on a remote. That's what it was, huh? He said they were on a remote and something happened. The remote kept going off and on, kicked on the air compressor and the generator while the van is enclosed and inside the garage where they stored it at the shop. Safety should not just be in your mind when you're doing a process or the job, but for everything. Storage, like storing things safely, like you said, the containers. But sometimes people are stacked too high. How many times have you seen mobile rigs that are just like a hazard?
That's a big thing too, OSHA.
Yeah,
stuff stacked too high.
Yeah,
there's a limit.
Yeah, so keep that in mind, guys. Where where you're stacking stuff, and but the air hose, I see guys cutting air hoses, rigging them, tying them up back by themselves, not changing like the main fittings, doing a whole bunch of stuff. It's
shout out to the guys that are experts in that field, but to the guys that just I figure it out. Like, oh man,
yeah,
be careful, brother.
Like that DIY money that you're saving jumps your risk of incident happening.
So I just call a professional. I'll call the plumber.
I see guys doing plumbing. Engineer,
call the electrician. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Way beyond me.
Yeah, because and speaking of that, when you talk about placement and configurations, you see sometimes where the guys have things in the shop because maybe space or maybe they just didn't think about it. It's like maybe that shouldn't be here. Maybe it'd be a lot better to have that away from this. One easy one that I always saw from day one, and finally they started talking about it recently, is I see guys in these mobile rigs where the hose goes over the generator. I'm like, that's just gonna burn. Like it's gonna burn at some point. And then people started saying, oh yeah, this is my third one I had to replace because it burned. It's like configuration, like where things go. That's another big one that people are putting water next to electricity. And you're gonna have a leak that close. And there's no moisture barrier. There's nothing. There's no space or maybe it's right on top of it.
Again, call the plumber.
Yeah.
Let the plumber figure all that stuff out, not me.
When they say accident waiting to happen, that's kind of where I stand with some of this stuff, and we try to keep all that in mind with whatever we're doing.
What old gig thing they said was mission first, safety always. One of them corny things, That's why all the corny people come out. Oh. All the corny safety sayings. That's it, man. That's it for safety. Oh, you know what I want to talk about?
So that's not it for safety.
Yeah, it's not it for safety. Not having to deal with cords, man, with these cordless polishers.
Oh yes,
get rid of tripping.
Nice. That got rid of. Yeah, that alleviated
a lot of cords. You're just looking at with the extension cords and the cords. Like, man, it looks nasty over here. Now I got to worry about tripping over it. Now the cordless ones,
or getting caught up on something.
Yeah,
the cord get caught up on a wheel.
Do the yanking.
Yeah, yeah, or coming unplugged. And you know who brought that up, and it was kind of like the nail in the coffin. When I said, okay, I don't know if I want to buy this unit right now, was Sydney. She goes, as soon as I started using it, she goes, I already felt like this immediate feel of stress just because the cord's not there. And then I started thinking about it. I thought, I pondered it for about 5 minutes. And I said, okay, I don't have to deal with cord management. I don't have to deal with, and the Rupes cords always break. So I don't have to worry about sending this thing in every time just because the cords broke. Because I'm not trying to be a DIYer doing all that shit. So, and she said, just it not being there.
Huge relief.
Yes. And that's a big one. And we We don't have it with the only thing we bring an extension cord out for now is the steamer. That's it.
Yeah, waiting for them guys to come out with that battery powered steamer.
Yeah.
That'll be it right there. Then we're done.
Diesel powered. They got the diesel power. I think they do.
They do have diesel
but I don't think they have them little, though. They need to make them little. But anyway, that's it for safety. That's an example of eliminating a safety hazard, is just going cordless in that case. You can do that in a lot of them. But still, batteries have their, you can apply safety in everything. Every category of your business, safety is somehow involved. So work safely. Share this. So stay safe.
Stay safe.
Stay safe.